Aha! Here I am messing with Linux Multimedia Studio 1.2.0 release candidate 7, but it seems stable enough to play around with, and I am going to mess with a synth called Watsyn. Yeah, Watsyn. And that's short for Wavetable Synthesis. So wave, and then T for table, and synthesis. Okay, and I'm gonna mess with this other stuff. So I'm just going to cover Watsyn for now, and what's neat in this version, I'm just going to show you real quick, is that you can create an FX channel for your track right off the track, and that's pretty neat. I don't think that was in previous versions. And then it names it automatically if you have a synth in there. This is something with the, I don't know if it's this version or the version before it, but it came out fairly recently. Well, at least recent in my book. I don't know how soon it updated, but Watsyn's pretty neat. What it is a wavetable, and we have different slots, A1, A2, B1, B2. And they kind of start out the same thing in all of them, which gives you a sine wave sound. So what I'm going to do is put some kind of tone or music in here. I don't know if that's any good, but let's see. Yeah, sure loops like that. And I pretty much adjusted the envelope. It kept the envelope from the previous instrument, so that's fine because it doesn't blow your ears out. I tried to adjust it so it wasn't too awful. I'm hearing weird feedback on my end, but I guess with all the stuff I did, I had to use Jack to get it to work, which is a whole other program. And there's Quick Jack Audio Connection Kit, which is another program that works on top of Jack, and that makes it a lot easier instead of having to deal with what do you call it, the text interface, command line stuff. Well, you just click connections. It still took me a long time to figure it out because I had to get it to work with Simple Screen Recorder. That's a whole other story, but I got it to record audio into Simple Screen Recorder. Okay, and keep the microphone working at the same time, which was an issue. Okay, enough of that. Let's get back into Watsyn. So we have different waveforms, and I'm going to change this one to a saw wave. And then there's an A-B mix, so A and B, and so if I scroll all the way this way, it's going to be the A1, because I'm all the way left. And if I scroll all the way the other way, it should be the saw wave. Yeah. And if I'm somewhere in the middle, it's going to blend them, because it creates the table. It's not that obvious at first, but it's still a pretty neat thing. And A1 is modulated by A2, and B1 is modulated by B2. Right now they're both at mix, and I find that the primary wave, or the first one, is better to have like a regular wave, or at least in my experience so far. And then the second wave, that is the one that does the modulation, is the one that's neater to do stuff with, like scramble up. So, let's see. It sounds like this, and right now it's all the way on A. And then if I go to B, it's still going to be this wave here, which is the subject. And if I go somewhere in the middle, well, it's not too noticeable. I'm going to go back to A2, which I did this stuff, and I'm going to change it to amplitude, and you can see it changed it from the original sign, or original sign like you know, they get so you have a mix, which I guess mixes the two waves, an amplitude modulation, which affects the amplitude of A1 by the waveform of A2, and then ring, and then phase. They're all kind of neat, but I find the second wave of the group, or the second wave of a set, is the one that's more fun to do unusual waveforms, and I already have this set up with that. And I find in LMMS, if you use the included sounds, you can like send projects to other people and you don't have to have your wave files. But if you do something with a unique sound that you recorded and somebody else doesn't have it, you're going to have to send that with your project file for them to recreate the sound. But if you use the waves or shapes that are included with LMMS that already come in the program in its directory, then it should just work, because anybody who has the same version is going to have that same set of sounds. So I like playing around with the wave shapes, and I'm going to put this sound and maybe make that, and it is phase modulated by that A vowel sound. It's kind of bright right now. Here, this I could probably yeah, I'm still confused. But you can also do stuff like, I'm going to have that wave, and then this wave I'm going to load in let's see what kind of shape we got here. Something like that. And then on the second one, it's going to be that sawtooth. I'm going to put it our wave, and then I'm going to change that one and make it a shape. So many shapes. So now we have B1, which is this shape, and it's mixed with this shape, and you can get some really weird distorted things. Oh, and alright. I know I'm not the world's best at explaining it, because I had so many things I had to do to get this thing working. So in terms of recording the audio, yeah, so you can adjust the frequency with this, which is like a pitch shift. I guess it's in eighths, so 8/8 is like equivalent to 1, 1/8 is going to drop it down to the bass. Well, actually, I should do it here. It's the other way around. It's not really obvious sometimes. And yeah, and that, like, if you do it in the B, or the, not the B channel, but the second channel. Actually, it's the 2 modulated by 1. Okay. I see the little arrow there, it's A2 getting mixed with. So I think the A1 actually does. I have it backwards to begin with. Alright, so I'm going to do that one amplitude modulated. And this twin phase modulated. Alright. And now I'm going to go in between the two. Just where the table stuff comes. Start of it. And now what's neat is we have attack, hold, decay, and crosstalk, which is kind of like the mix away, but it just stays on the amount it stays mixed, I think. So what we can do is change how fast it goes from A to B or B to A depending on the amount. So say we start out here and we mix this way, it should go. And this is where the cool stuff comes in. Alright, and we can reverse it like this. I don't know how loud this is. It's pretty. So, can do. You kind of get the idea, and then you can combine that with the envelope effects with the regular volume envelopes and the filter envelopes, and you can get some pretty cool sounds. But you can get that really neat kind of like blending from one sound to the other and stuff like that. And then I'm going to play with the other ones, which are the D tunes, which add a lot of depth to the sound. As you see, it really just made the sound explode, and I barely even touched the dial. But that's kind of what's neat about it. And I think you can just, I don't know how big a waveform it actually stores in there, but there's like I showed you with this, you can load just about any waveform into it. So you could use your own samples to some extent, but I think they've got to be short, like the ones that are included for either the waveforms or the shapes. might be able to use stuff like one of these or claps or something. Real short, tight sound to generate a unique wave, and then it just loops. So if you have a zero crossing or something, that might be an issue. I don't know. Depends on your. I don't know the specifics of this. I just know it's kind of cool. And you can have the sound start like pan to one side, then to the other. So as it goes from the mix, it'll go left to right as it goes through the envelope, the attack and decay. So like that one part that starts in the A side is going to be panned left, and on the B side where it goes to is going to be. But I think it started, I had it backwards, so I got it more starting with B and then going to, so you know, it's going to start on right and then go left, or depending on which way you turn these. I'm just playing it, making a sound, but you get the idea here. Yeah. I'm going to play with the multipliers, see what other kinds of sound I can get out of it. As you can see, that is pretty neat what you can do with it to build the depth. Yeah. And it totally changes the character of the sound, so yeah, I know I've been dilly-dallying a bit, but it was just neat what you can do with that. And it's kind of a powerful synth once you start to figure it out. And yet that interface isn't that complicated like the other new one, which is Monstro. Which, Monstro is like the triple oscillator on steroids. That's all I can describe it. But this one is unique into itself. Like I showed you, you load the different waves, and then it just mixes the table. It creates a table of 4 waves, and it mixes them with the envelope. That's how I describe it here. You have those settings, how strong it mixes, and attack, hold, and decay, crosstalk, and you can decide which side you're starting with, and you just play around. I guess that's it. It's cool though. Alright.